Hey, welcome back. Wrestling figure historian here to take a look at the history behind the figures. This is going to be the last quote-unquote figure that we take a look in the Wal-Mart exclusive Flashback Basic Series. This time, it's the Ravishing one, Rick Rude. Quick look at the packaging, same like the previous videos. Simple baby blue retro backdrop, Rick Rude's face plastered on the side. A look at all the other figures in the line with the preview to the Howard Finkel, which we may be able to build now. Here's the thing with this figure, like all the other videos, there tends to be a storyline. And actually, of all the storylines we've looked at so far, this happens to be one of the hottest storylines of the time. Upon his arrival to the WWF, Ravishing Rick Rude kind of built up a cult following amongst the female fans of the WWE Universe. By, let's say, April of 1988, Ravishing Rick Rude decided to reward his fans, where after he would beat some senseless jobber, he would pick one lucky lady in the crowd to give his version of a rude awakening, which was a kiss that dropped the girl dead on the floor. And a couple of weeks after debuting the Rude Awakening segment, Rick Rude once again, after beating a helpless jobber, went out into the crowd to pick one lucky lady to receive said Rude Awakening. However, things did not go so well. The lady he happened to pick decided to refuse the Rude Awakening. Rude, as arrogant as ever, felt that he could still seduce the woman to have his Rude Awakening, but she had none of it. It would eventually be revealed that she was the wife of a wrestler in the back. Of course, this stunned Rick Rude at first, but he continued. Eventually, it would be revealed that said wrestler was Jake the Snake Robert, and this was his wife, Cheryl. Upon learning the information, Rude began to berate and insult both Cheryl and Jake Roberts. It did get to a point where Cheryl could not take it anymore and slapped Rick Rude hard across the face. At this point, Rick Rude was enraged with Cheryl for what she had done and began to grab Cheryl. This would lead to Jake Roberts running down to the ring to protect his wife, but instead, Rick Rude would end up beating down Jake Roberts. Now this would lead to probably the hottest feud of 1988. And with that, I'm going to end my story here. Because who knows, I might decide to pick this up on another video. But, like I said, we'll save that for later. Now it's time to take a look at the figure itself. Here we go, guys. This is what Rick Rude looks like now out of package. Like I said, this is now the final piece of the Build a Finkel figure, and it's his legs and lower body. So, take that out, and we see it's his legs fully intact. We'll put this off to the side. And now here's Rick Rude out of package. Upon first glance, if I were to relate this figure to that moment in WWF history, I would say it does capture it, but the attire does have some problems with it. But, like I mentioned into the Ted DiBiase video that we did prior, Mattel is not actually looking at that attire. That attire, however, is once again similar to Hasbro's, which Hasbro recreated in their very first series. Let's see how Mattel did. Now again, with the head sculpt, when we compare it to what Rick Rude looked like and some of his photos, again, amazing job. I love the head sculpt. They really did a good job. Hell, unlike the DiBiase figure, it is a massive improvement from the Hasbro series. So already, good job on that, Mattel. Now, one addition they did do to the Mattel figures that Hasbro definitely missed out on was Rick Rude's trademark anchor tattoo. Mattel did make sure to add this to the figure. Now, as for the attire, he has the purple tights with the black stripes going down. If we look at the actual moment when he tried to seduce Cheryl Roberts, you will notice that it's actually black that fades into the purple, so there's actually missing layers. But again, we're looking at this one. And when we compare it to this figure, it matches the attire 1 for 1. So again, this is a subtle nod to the old Hasbro figures. Now again, the actual attire, Rude was wearing white boots. This is where now the Hasbro attire and the Mattel attire different. Mattel's boots are a solid black with simply Ravishing running down both sides of the boots, while Mattel just went for a simple black with white laced boots. This is an improvement, my opinion, in appearance compared to the Hasbro figures. Mattel once again did an amazing job with this figure. They did capture that moment. This being my first Rick Rude figure to own, I'm really happy that I got it. And if I had to give this a grade, I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5. They nailed Rick Rude perfectly in this figure. And I do like that this is a quote-unquote generic attire that was done perfect. It was after this moment, Rick Rude would wear pay-per-view and storyline specific tights. We do have the Jake Roberts to go along with this figure. It was actually part of the recent Mattel Hall of Fame line that did come out, which I do happen to own that figure. So maybe you want me to continue the story, let me know in the comments. And who knows, maybe one day I'll take a look at that Target line. But with Rude, we could possibly then get his attire that he wore against Jake Roberts. Who knows, that had Cheryl Roberts' face on it. Or we could go a year later and go into his feud with the Ultimate Warrior, in which he had the Intercontinental title painted onto his tights, which that was probably one of my favorite attires that he wore. Hell, we did already get the SummerSlam 90 attire missing the Ultimate Warrior's face on the back. Maybe they could re-release that one and actually fix its problems. With that said, that's all for now. I'm the Wrestling Figure Historian. That's my look at a history behind the figures.